I was staring at my wife's iPad when I saw the message that would destroy my 12-year marriage. Can't wait to feel you inside me again tonight. Room 447, same hotel, 9 p.m. My hands went numb. The device slipped through my fingers and clattered onto our kitchen counter. I caught it before it fell, my reflexes acting while my brain struggled to process what I'd just read. It was Thursday afternoon, October 12th, 2023. I'd come home early from my shift at the fire station, a rare 2 p.m. finish instead of my usual overnight rotation. Emily, my wife of 12 years, was supposed to be at her book club. Her iPad sat on the counter, unlocked, the message glowing on the screen like a neon sign advertising my humiliation. The sender was listed as gym trainer. My heart hammered against my ribs. I checked the date stamp. The message had come through 17 minutes ago. I scrolled up with shaking fingers, watching weeks of their conversation unfold in reverse. Hotel rooms. Explicit photos I couldn't bear to look at for more than a second. Plans coordinated around my work schedule at the station. Jake's on overnight rotation Tuesday. Come over after the kids are asleep. Our kids. Our 2 daughters, Olivia, 10, and Sophie, 7, were at school right now, completely oblivious that their world was about to implode. I looked at the clock. 2:47 p.m. According to the message, Emily would be at that hotel in just over 6 hours. My first instinct was to call her. Scream. Demand answers. But something stopped me. Maybe it was my training as a firefighter. We're taught to assess situations before reacting. Maybe it was pure survival instinct. Either way, I realized that confronting her now would only give her time to prepare, to craft a story, to delete evidence. Instead, I opened the iPad's photo app with trembling hands. The images made me want to vomit. My wife, the woman who'd promised to love me until death, who'd given birth to our daughters, who'd kissed me goodbye that very morning, wrapped around another man. The timestamps showed this had been going on since July. 4 months of lies. I forced myself to think clearly. I grabbed my phone and started taking pictures of everything. Screenshots of messages. Photos of photos. I documented it all, my photographer's eye from my hobbyist days kicking in to ensure everything was clear and legible. The affair partner's real name appeared in some messages. Trevor Blackwood. She'd saved him as gym trainer in her contacts, but he'd sent her a photo of his driver's license as a joke once. Something about proving he was really 32 and not older. I photographed that too. My phone's camera roll filled with evidence. Each click of the shutter felt like a nail in our marriage's coffin, but I couldn't stop. I needed proof. I needed to protect myself and my daughters from whatever was coming next. The garage door opener suddenly whirred to life. Panic shot through me. Emily was home early. I quickly closed the photo app on her iPad, placed it exactly where I'd found it, and shoved my phone in my pocket. My hands were still shaking as I heard her car door slam. "Jake?" Her voice carried from the mudroom. "Your truck's here. Why are you home?" I forced myself to breathe. To sound normal. Shift swap. Thompson needed Saturday off, so I took his Thursday afternoon. Emily walked into the kitchen carrying grocery bags, her blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail, wearing yoga pants and a fitted jacket. She looked exactly like the woman I'd fallen in love with 14 years ago. Beautiful, familiar, a complete stranger. "Oh, that's nice," she said, setting the bags on the counter right next to her iPad. "We actually get an evening together for once." The casual lie in her voice, the ease with which she pretended everything was fine, made my stomach turn. She was supposed to be with him tonight. Room 447, 9 o'clock. "Yeah," I managed. "Really nice." She started unpacking groceries, chatting about Sophie's upcoming school play, and something about needing to schedule Olivia's dentist appointment. I responded on autopilot, my mind racing through possibilities. I could confront her right now. Watch her scramble for excuses. I could show up at that hotel room tonight. Catch them in the act. Or I could be smart about this. Calculated. Protect my daughters and myself before everything fell apart. You okay? Emily asked, studying my face. You look pale. Just tired, I lied, matching her energy. Long shift yesterday. She nodded, accepting it without question, then glanced at her iPad. For a split second, I saw something flicker across her face. Worry? Guilt? But it vanished as quickly as it appeared. I'm meeting Rebecca for dinner tonight, she said, not meeting my eyes. That okay? I know you're home, but we've had it planned for weeks. Rebecca, her supposed best friend. I wondered if Rebecca even existed, or if she was just another lie in Emily's carefully constructed web of deception. Sure, I said. What time? I'll leave around 8:30, probably be back by 11. 8:30. 30 minutes before her actual appointment in room 447. I nodded slowly, a plan beginning to form in my mind. Sounds good. I'll handle bedtime with the girls. Emily smiled, that same smile that used to make my whole day brighter, and kissed my cheek. Her lips felt like ice against my skin. You're the best, she said. I watched her walk away, already pulling out her phone to presumably confirm tonight's plans with Trevor. The best. Right. I pulled out my own phone and started making calls. First to my brother Ryan, who happened to be a family law attorney. Then to my buddy Kevin, who worked private security and owed me a favor. If Emily wanted to destroy our family, fine. But I'd be damned if I let her do it on her terms. The kitchen feels like a stage set after Emily leaves to get ready for dinner with Rebecca. I hear the shower running upstairs. She's probably scrubbing off any trace of me before she puts on whatever she's planning to wear for him. My phone buzzes. Ryan. Got your message. What's going on? I keep my voice low, moving to the garage. Emily's having an affair. 4 months. I have documentation, messages, photos, hotel reservations. She's meeting him tonight at 9. Silence. Then, Jesus, Jake, you're sure? Completely. I need to know my options. Fast. Okay. Ryan shifts into professional mode. First, keep documenting everything. Don't delete anything from her devices. Second, don't confront her yet. Not until we have a strategy. Third, do not, under any circumstances, do anything that could be used against you in custody proceedings. That last part hits hard. The girls. Exactly. Illinois isn't a fault state for property division, but infidelity can impact custody if we frame it right. Moral fitness, stability, that kind of thing. But if you lose your cool, assault someone, make threats, that helps her, not you. I lean against my truck, trying to steady myself. What do I do tonight? You said she's meeting him at 9? Room 447, Hotel Meridian downtown. Don't go there. I know you want to, but trust me. Nothing good comes from a confrontation in a hotel room. You already have proof. What you need now is a pattern of behavior, preferably documented by a third party. That's why I called Kevin. Good. He can observe and photograph from a distance. Meanwhile, you stay home with your kids. Be the stable parent. Create contrast. Ryan pauses. I'm sorry, man. This is brutal. But we're going to handle this the right way. After we hang up, I text Kevin the details. Hotel Meridian, room 447, 9 p.m. Emily driving her silver Honda CR-V. He responds immediately. On it. We'll send photos. The shower stops upstairs. I return to the kitchen, pulling out ingredients for the girls' dinner. Chicken nuggets, mac and cheese. Simple. Normal. Emily comes down 20 minutes later looking like she's stepped out of a magazine. Dark jeans that fit perfectly, a silk blouse I've never seen before, makeup carefully applied. She's wearing perfume, not the one I bought her last Christmas. You look nice, I say, forcing the words out. She smiles, checking her reflection in the microwave door. Thanks. Haven't been out with Rebecca in forever. The lie comes so easily. No hesitation, no guilt in her eyes. Where are you going again? That new Italian place on 5th, Bella Not. She grabs her purse from the counter. I should be home by 11, midnight at the latest. More lies. She'll be at the hotel by 9, probably leaving around 11 to maintain her timeline. Every detail calculated. Have fun, I manage. She kisses my cheek, the same lips that will be on him in a few hours, and heads for the garage. I hear her car start, the garage door open and close. I stand there, hands gripping the counter until my knuckles turn white. The girls get home at 6:15. Olivia's talking about her science project. Sophie's showing me a drawing she made. I smile and nod and ask questions, but part of me is watching the clock. Emily's probably already downtown, maybe grabbing a drink at the hotel bar, waiting. We eat dinner. I help with homework. Sophie wants to watch a movie, so I set up something animated and cheerful while I sit on the couch, phone in my hand. At 8:47 p.m., Kevin texts, "In position, silver CRV just pulled into hotel parking garage." My stomach turns over. 8:58 p.m. She's in the lobby, heading to elevators. I imagine her walking across that lobby, heels clicking on marble, maybe checking her phone one last time before she goes upstairs to him. 9:03 p.m. 4th floor confirmed. Entered room 447. There it is. She's with him now. Sophie's fallen asleep against my shoulder. Olivia's curled up on the other end of the couch, eyes drooping. The movie plays on, bright colors and cheerful music, while my wife is in a hotel room with another man. My phone stays silent for 43 minutes. Then, at 9:46 p.m., Kevin sends a photo. It's taken from across the street, zoomed in on a 4th floor window. The curtains are partially open. I can see two silhouettes close together. Very close. The image quality is good enough to make out Emily's distinctive blonde hair, the silk blouse now discarded on a chair visible in the frame. Another photo arrives. Different angle, clearer. Emily's visible in profile through the window gap, her head tilted back. I close the photos quickly, bile rising in my throat. Kevin texts, "Got everything you need. Multiple angles, timestamps. Want me to stay?" Yes. Document when she leaves. I carry Sophie upstairs to bed, then Olivia. Brush teeth, find stuffed animals, pull up blankets. Normal dad things while my marriage disintegrates downtown. At 10:52 p.m., she's leaving. Stopped in lobby bathroom, probably fixing her appearance. 10:58 p.m., CRV exiting parking garage. She'll be home in 20 minutes, maybe 25 with traffic. I move through the house, turning off lights, making it look like I've gone to bed early. Instead, I sit in the dark living room, waiting. Her headlights sweep across the front windows at 11:17 p.m. The garage door opens. I hear her car pull in, the engine cut off. She enters through the mudroom, moving quietly, probably thinking we're all asleep. I watch from the shadows as she sets down her purse, slips off her heels. She checks her reflection in the hallway mirror, smoothing her hair. Then she heads upstairs. I give her 10 minutes before following. She's in our bathroom, washing her face when I appear in the doorway. "Hey," she says, smiling at me in the mirror. "Girls go down okay?" "Fine. How was dinner?" "Really nice. We went to Bella Note. The food was amazing. I had this incredible seafood pasta." The lies flow like water. "Rebecca says hi, by the way. We should have them over soon, her and David." I nod, studying her face. Looking for some crack in the facade, some hint of guilt or shame. Nothing. "I'm exhausted," she says, drying her face. "Long day." "I bet." She changes into pajamas, the modest ones, Not the lingerie I know she packed in her overnight bag that's probably still in her car trunk. She slides into bed beside me, kisses my shoulder. "Love you," she murmurs. I don't respond. She's asleep within minutes, breathing deep and even, while I lie awake staring at the ceiling. My phone buzzes softly. Kevin's sent a full report. Timestamps, photos from multiple angles, vehicle tracking data. Everything documented, everything timestamped, everything provable. Ryan texts at midnight. "Can you meet tomorrow?" "My office, 10 a.m. Bring everything." I'll be there. I finally drift off around 2, then wake at 5:30 when my alarm goes off. Emily's still sleeping. I shower, dress, move through the morning routine mechanically. The girls wake up at 6:45. I make breakfast, pack lunches, find lost homework and matching socks. Emily appears at 7:15, chipper and refreshed. "Morning, everyone," she pours coffee, kisses the girls' heads. "Who's excited for Friday?" Sophie bounces in her chair. "Movie night." "That's right, baby." Emily catches my eye across the kitchen. "Maybe we can all watch together this week. Family time." The audacity is breathtaking. I drop the girls at school at 8:20, then head straight to Ryan's office downtown. He's waiting in the conference room, legal pad ready. "Show me everything." I walk him through it chronologically. The iPad messages, the photos, the hotel reservation, Emily's lies about Rebecca and Bellinade. Then Kevin's surveillance documentation, the timestamps matching perfectly with her supposed dinner reservation, the photos through the hotel window, the parking garage footage. Ryan takes notes, occasionally asking questions, his expression growing darker. "This is solid, Jake. Really solid. Timeline's airtight third-party documentation. Her own messages providing intent and planning." He sits back. Here's what happens next. The manila folder sits between us on Ryan's polished conference table, stuffed with printed screenshots, surveillance photos, and a timeline I'd constructed at 3 in the morning while Emily slept peacefully beside me. My brother flips through the pages methodically, his lawyer face firmly in place. The one that's won him a reputation as the most ruthless family law attorney in the county. "She's been careful," Ryan says, tapping a message where Emily reminds Trevor to delete their texts. "But not careful enough. What's our next move?" I lean forward, hands clasped tight to keep them from shaking. I've been running on coffee and adrenaline since yesterday afternoon, and the crash is coming. I can feel it lurking at the edges of my vision. Ryan closes the folder. "We document everything. Every lie, every hotel visit, every dollar she spends on this affair. Kevin's surveillance is gold. Time-stamped, geotagged, undeniable. But we need more." "More?" "Financial records. I need to know if she's spending marital assets on this guy. Hotel rooms, dinners, gifts. In this state, that's dissipation of marital assets. We can claim it back in the settlement." He pulls out a legal pad, starts making notes. "I also need you to check her credit card statements, bank accounts, anything you have access to." My stomach turns. I'm already spying on her. Now I'm supposed to... "You're protecting yourself and your daughters." Ryan's voice cuts through my hesitation. "Emily made her choice. She's the one who decided to blow up your family. You're just making sure she doesn't get to rewrite history when this goes public." Public. The word hits like a fist. Our friends, our neighbors, the guys at the station, they'll all know. They'll look at me differently. The guy whose wife was screwing around while he was pulling double shifts. "What about the girls?" My voice comes out rougher than I intend. "We fight for primary custody. With your work schedule, it won't be easy, but we've got ammunition. A mother who's been lying, sneaking around, prioritizing an affair over her family." Ryan meets my eyes. "The court doesn't like that, especially when we can prove she's been bringing this instability into their lives." "She hasn't..." I stop. Has she? Have there been times Trevor came to our house? Times when the girls were home and Emily was texting him, planning her next escape? The thought makes me want to put my fist through the conference room window. Ryan's phone buzzes. He glances at it, then back at me. I'm sending you the name of a forensic accountant. She's discreet, fast, and she'll find every penny Emily spent on this affair. I'm also going to need you to set up a separate bank account today. Start diverting your paychecks there. Half of everything is still yours, and I don't want her draining accounts when she realizes you know. The practicality of it steadies me somehow. Action items. Tasks to complete. It's like running a training drill at the station. Follow the protocol. Execute the plan. Don't think about the flames. There's something else. Ryan leans back in his chair. You need to decide how you want this to go down. Quick and clean or slow burn? What's the difference? Quick and clean. You confront her today, serve her papers by end of week, file for divorce immediately. Rip the bandage off. It'll hurt like hell, but it's over fast. He pauses. Slow burn. You keep documenting, keep gathering evidence. Let her think everything's fine while we build an airtight case. Then when we're ready, we hit her with everything at once. She won't have time to hide assets, manufacture excuses, or coach Trevor on what to say if this gets messy. I think about last night. Emily coming home from the hotel, kissing me on the cheek, suggesting pancakes this morning like she hadn't spent the last 2 hours in another man's bed. The casual cruelty of it. How long for the slow burn? 2 weeks, maybe 3. Enough time to establish a pattern, document repeated behavior, show this isn't some one-time mistake. Ryan's expression softens slightly. But I need to know you can handle it. Living with her, acting normal, pretending you don't know. Some guys can't do it. Can I? I run through scenarios in my head. Making breakfast for the girls while Emily texts Trevor under the table. Kissing her goodbye before my shifts while she plans her next hotel visit. Sleeping beside her, knowing where she's been. The rage that flares in my chest gives me the answer. Yeah, I can do it. Because every lie she tells me now is another nail in her coffin. Every fake smile, every manufactured excuse, it's all evidence. All ammunition. Slow burn, I say. Ryan nods, unsurprised. Then here's what you do. Go home, act completely normal. Don't change a single thing about your routine. Kevin will continue surveillance. I want photos every time she meets Trevor. You'll monitor her messages, but don't react to anything you see. Document, screenshot, save everything to a cloud account she can't access. He slides a business card across the table. This is Dr. Patricia Walsh. She's a therapist who specializes in infidelity trauma. You're going to need someone to talk to who isn't me or Kevin. Someone who can help you process this without tipping your hand to Emily. I pocket the card without looking at it. Therapy. Jesus. What else? Start thinking about your ideal custody arrangement. Do you want primary physical custody with Emily getting weekends? Split 50-50? The more specific you are now, the better I can fight for it. Ryan's pen hovers over his legal pad. Also, do you want to pursue a fault-based divorce? In this state, we can cite adultery. It might not affect asset division much, but it puts her behavior on the public record. Will that hurt the girls? Potentially. Divorce records are public unless sealed, and sealing them requires both parties to agree. He gives me a look that says he already knows Emily won't agree to anything that protects her image. But the alternative is letting her control the narrative. She could tell people you were abusive, neglectful, whatever story makes her the victim. At least with fault-based, the truth is documented. My phone vibrates in my pocket. Emily's name flashes on the screen. Running errands. Need anything from Target? The normalcy of it is obscene. I text back. We're good. See you tonight. Ryan watches me pocket the phone. That's exactly what I mean. She's living 2 completely different lives and she thinks she's getting away with it. She was getting away with it. The bitterness in my voice surprises me. For 4 months, but not anymore. Ryan stands, gathering the folder. I'm going to start drafting the divorce petition. We won't file it until we're ready, but I want everything prepared. When we move fast. Serve her the papers, file for temporary custody, freeze joint accounts, all in the same day. She won't know what hit her. I stand too, legs unsteady. The enormity of it crashes over me again. 12 years of marriage, 14 years together. 2 daughters who still think their parents are happy. A whole life about to be demolished because Emily decided she needed something more. One more thing, Ryan says, as I reach the door. Don't tell anyone else. Not your parents, not the guys at the station, not your closest friends. The fewer people who know, the less chance it gets back to Emily before we're ready. Kevin already knows. Kevin's helping us build the case. That's different. But no one else, Jake. I mean it. People talk, even when they don't mean to. And if Emily gets wind that you know, she'll start covering her tracks, draining accounts, building her own case against you. I nod, throat tight. What if I can't do this? What if I break? Ryan's hand lands on my shoulder, the first real brotherly gesture since I walked into his office. You're a firefighter. You run into burning buildings when everyone else runs out. You can handle 2 weeks of playing house with a liar. He's right. I've faced worse. I've pulled bodies from wreckage, performed CPR on dying children, made split-second decisions that meant life or death. I can smile at my wife while she destroys our family. I can tuck my daughters into bed knowing their mother is planning her next betrayal. I can survive this. I have to. Keep me updated, Ryan says. Any new evidence, any changes in her behavior, anything. And Jake? He waits until I meet his eyes. You're doing the right thing. For yourself and for Olivia and Sophie. They deserve a parent who puts them first. The autumn air hits my face as I step outside, sharp and clean. My truck sits in the parking garage, and I lean against it for a moment, letting the metal cool my forehead. 2 weeks. 14 days of pretending. Then Emily's world ends, and maybe, mine can start to rebuild. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Kevin. She just pulled into the Starbucks on Maple, meeting someone. I text back, get photos. Then I climb into my truck and head home to wait for my wife. The text comes through at 11:47 a.m. Saturday morning, while I'm pretending to fix the leaky faucet in the upstairs bathroom. Subject just arrived at Starbucks on Maple. Meeting unknown female, early 30s, brunette, professional attire. Sending photos now. 3 images load on my screen. Emily sits across from a woman I've never seen before. Sharp blazer, dark hair pulled into a tight bun, leather portfolio open between them. Not Trevor. Not Rebecca, assuming Rebecca even exists. Someone new. My hands tighten around the wrench. Jake, can you grab more paper towels? Emily's voice drifts up from downstairs where she's organizing the pantry. Another perfectly domestic Saturday activity to maintain the illusion. Yeah, just a sec. I watch the photos load in sequence. The woman slides documents across the table. Emily leans in, reading. Her expression shifts, concern, maybe fear. The woman's mouth moves, emphatic. Emily nods, writes something down. Want me to try getting closer? Might be able to hear conversation. I text back. No, just document who she is. License plate if she drove. The bathroom door is cracked open. I can hear Emily moving around downstairs, the soft rustle of reorganizing canned goods and pasta boxes, playing housewife while meeting mysterious strangers at coffee shops. Found them, I call down, grabbing the paper towels from the hall closet. When I return to the bathroom, another message waits. Running plates now? She's showing Emily something on her phone. Emily looks upset. I force myself to focus on the faucet. Turn the water on, off, check for leaks. My mind races through possibilities. A lawyer? But why would Emily need a lawyer when she doesn't know I know? A financial advisor? Someone helping her hide assets before I even file? Or something else entirely? The paranoia creeps in like smoke under a door. 4 months I've been blind to this affair. What else have I missed? Who else is in Emily's secret world? My phone buzzes again. Meeting breaking up. Unknown female heading to black Lexus. Plates coming through now. Emily staying, ordering another coffee. I watch the dots appear, disappear, appear again as Kevin types. Plates registered to Natalie Foster, address in Riverside. Running background now. Natalie Foster. The name means nothing to me. I finish with the faucet and head downstairs. Emily's in the pantry, exactly where she said she'd be, surrounded by neat rows of labeled containers. She's changed the system again. Color-coded labels this time. Everything alphabetized. The perfect wife, creating perfect order. Faucet's done, I say. She looks up, smiling. Thanks, babe. I don't know what I'd do without you. The words land like physical blows. I wonder if she practices these lines, rehearses the casual affection that keeps me unsuspecting. 4 months of practice makes perfect. Who is that? I ask, keeping my tone light. Her smile doesn't falter. Who was what? On your phone earlier. Saw you texting. Oh. She waves a hand dismissively. Just Rebecca confirming book club for Tuesday. You know how she is, needs to plan everything a week in advance. Rebecca again. The convenient friend who provides convenient alibis. Right, I say. Book club. I pull out my own phone, pretending to check something while actually opening Kevin's latest message. Natalie Foster, 34, real estate agent. Works for Prestige Properties downtown. No obvious connection to Trevor Blackwood. Real estate agent. My stomach drops. Emily's looking for apartments. She's planning her exit strategy, preparing to leave me before I can leave her. Or maybe she's helping Trevor find a place. Setting up their future together while I sleep in our bed, eat at our table, kiss our daughters goodnight. You okay? Emily asks. You look pale. Fine. Just thinking about work stuff. She nods, already turning back to her organizing. You work too hard. You should take some time off. Maybe we could do a weekend trip. Just the two of us. Your mom could watch the girls. A weekend trip. Time alone together. The suggestion should be romantic, an attempt to reconnect. Instead, it feels like strategy. Keep me close, keep me fooled, maintain the facade until she's ready to drop the bomb on her terms. Maybe, I say. Let me check the schedule. My phone buzzes with another message from Kevin. Foster specializes in luxury apartments and condos. High-end stuff. Want me to dig deeper? I type back, yes. Find out if Emily's contacted her before today. Check if she's looked at any properties. The afternoon crawls by. Emily makes lunch, grilled cheese and tomato soup, the girl's favorite. We eat together at the kitchen table, Olivia talking about her upcoming school play, Sophie showing us a drawing of our family. 4 stick figures holding hands under a smiling sun. I force myself to smile, to nod, to engage. Every word feels like acting in a play where only I know the real script. At 3 p.m., Kevin sends a photo. Natalie Foster's business card, pulled from public records. Her specialties listed include discreet relocations and confidential property searches. Discreet. Confidential. Of course. Emily's phone chimes. She glances at it, types a quick response, sets it face down on the table. The gesture is casual, practiced. How many times has she done this? How many messages has she hidden in plain sight? I need to run to Target, she announces, standing. We're out of laundry detergent. Girls, want to come? Olivia and Sophie chorus their agreement, already grabbing shoes. I'll stay here, I say. Got some stuff to catch up on. Emily kisses my cheek. Her lips are warm, familiar. We'll be back in an hour. I watch them pile into her SUV, wait until they're down the street. Then I move. Her iPad is in the usual spot, charging on the kitchen counter. I unlock it. She still hasn't changed the password, still doesn't suspect, and open her email. There. From Natalie Foster, sent this morning at 9:15 a.m. Looking forward to our meeting. I've pulled together several options that match your criteria. See you at 11:30. I scroll through Emily's sent folder. Yesterday, 4 p.m. Need something available. December 1st, 2-bedroom minimum, parking, allows pets. Budget up to $2,500 month. Preferred downtown or Riverside area. Must be discreet. Going through difficult situation. Difficult situation. December 1st. 6 weeks away. She's planning to leave in 6 weeks, taking our dog, finding a 2-bedroom apartment. 1 room for her, 1 for, what? The girls on weekends? Or for Trevor to move in immediately? I screenshot everything, send it to my secure folder. The evidence pile grows higher. Another email from 3 days ago. Natalie, thank you for the referral. I've scheduled a consultation with your colleague for next week. Appreciate your discretion. Colleague. What colleague? I search Emily's email for Natalie's name. Find an earlier exchange from last week. Natalie's response includes, I understand completely. My colleague Amanda specializes in these situations. She'll help you understand your options and protect your interests. Her consultation fee is $350 for the first meeting. Amanda. Options. Protect your interests. Emily has a lawyer. She's already 3 steps ahead, planning her exit, protecting her assets, preparing for war while I sleep beside her thinking I'm the one with the secret strategy. The realization hits like cold water. I'm not the only one gathering evidence. My phone rings. Ryan. We need to meet, he says without preamble. Now, something's come up. What? Not over the phone. Barney's Diner, 20 minutes? He hangs up. I stare at Emily's iPad, at the emails that reveal her parallel investigation. She's meeting with real estate agents and lawyers, building her case, preparing to strike. The question is, does she suspect I know? Or is this standard procedure for someone planning to blow up their marriage? Either way, the timeline just accelerated. I grab my keys and head for the door, texting Kevin. Keep eyes on Emily at Target. Let me know if she goes anywhere else. His response comes immediately. Already on it. She just pulled into Target parking lot. Girls with her. Good. That gives me at least 45 minutes. I drive to Barney's with my mind racing, calculating, recalculating. Every plan Ryan and I made assumes Emily doesn't know I'm preparing. But if she's already lawyered up, already looking for apartments, already building her exit strategy, what else has she done that I haven't discovered yet? The Thursday evening air bites at my face as I pull into the community theater parking lot at 7:43 p.m. Emily left the house 40 minutes ago, kissing both girls goodnight and telling them mommy had rehearsal for the spring production of A Streetcar Named Desire. She'd be home by 10, she promised. Maybe later if they went for drinks after. I'd smiled, told her to have fun. Watched her drive away in her Honda CR-V with a canvas bag slung over her shoulder, the one with Riverside players embroidered on the side that I'd never seen before last week. Kevin's text comes through as I park 3 rows back from the entrance. She's inside, went straight to the main hall. I'm positioned at the coffee shop across the street. Good view of all exits. I type back, copy that. Going silent. The Riverside Community Theater occupies a converted warehouse on the east side of town, all exposed brick and industrial charm. Through the tall windows, I can see lights blazing in what must be the main rehearsal space. A hand-painted banner announces opening night for a streetcar named Desire. November 3rd, 3 weeks away. My phone shows 7:47 p.m. I've got maybe 2 hours before she expects to leave. Possibly 3, if the drinks after story holds. Ryan's voice echoes in my head from our call this afternoon. Document everything. Times, places, people. If she's using community theater as cover, we need proof of what's actually happening there. The side entrance is unlocked. I slip through into a dimly lit corridor that smells like sawdust and old paint. Voices drift from somewhere ahead. Laughter, then a woman's voice calling out lines I vaguely recognize. Blanche Dubois, maybe. I've never read the play. A narrow staircase leads upward, marked with a faded sign. Balcony seating. Overflow only. The steps creak under my weight, each sound making my heart hammer harder. At the top, a door opens into darkness. The balcony. I ease the door closed behind me and let my eyes adjust. The space is small, maybe 20 seats arranged in 2 short rows overlooking the main stage below. Emergency exit lights provide just enough illumination to navigate without tripping. I move to the front row, positioning myself behind the low railing where shadows pool deepest. Below, the stage is set up as a shabby apartment. Peeling wallpaper, a sagging couch, a single bare light bulb hanging from a wire. 6 people occupy the space. I recognize Emily immediately, even from this angle. She's wearing a flowing dress I've never seen, her hair loose around her shoulders instead of the usual ponytail. She's laughing at something a tall man in his 40s is saying. The man, dark hair graying at the temples, expensive-looking jeans and a black sweater, has his hand on her lower back. Casual. Familiar. From the top of scene 3, he calls out, his voice carrying easily in the space. Emily, remember? Blanche is desperate here. She needs Stanley to see her as desirable, even as she despises what he represents. It's all subtext and tension. Emily nods, stepping into position near the couch. The man, the director I assume, moves closer. Too close. Action, he says softly. What follows makes my stomach turn to ice. Emily delivers her lines with a breathy vulnerability I've never heard from her. The director responds as Stanley, his voice rough and commanding. They circle each other on the small stage, the other cast members watching from the sidelines. The tension builds with each exchange until suddenly Emily's character breaks, throwing herself at Stanley with a desperate kiss that looks nothing like acting. The director catches her, one hand tangling in her hair, the other gripping her waist. The kiss deepens, lengthens, goes on for 5 seconds, then 10, then 15. No one calls cut. My hands grip the railing hard enough that my knuckles go white. I force myself to breathe slowly, quietly, even as my pulse pounds in my ears. The phone in my pocket feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. I need photos, evidence, proof. I ease the phone out, angle it carefully, and start recording video. The timestamp shows 8:03 p.m. Below, Emily and the director finally break apart, both breathing hard. She's smiling up at him with an expression I recognize, the same one from those hotel photos Kevin took. Better, the director says, his voice rough. Much better. But we need to rehearse that transition again. The intimacy coordinator wants it to look spontaneous but safe. Intimacy coordinator? Right. They run the scene twice more. Each time the kiss lasts longer. Each time their hands wander a little more freely. The other cast members offer feedback, suggestions, but I notice 2 of them exchanging knowing glances. A younger woman, maybe 25 with dark curly hair, whispers something to the man beside her. He smirks. At 8:34 p.m., the director calls for a break. 15 minutes, people, then we'll run Act 2 from the beginning. The cast disperses. Some head toward what must be a break room offstage. Others check their phones. Emily and the director remain on stage, standing close together, speaking in voices too low for me to hear clearly. But I can read body language just fine. His hand on her arm, her fingers brushing his chest, the way she leans into him when she laughs. I stop recording and switch to camera mode, zooming in as much as the phone allows. Click, click, click. 3 shots of them together, timestamps and location data embedded in each file. The director glances at his watch, says something that makes Emily bite her lip and nod. Then he heads off stage, leaving her alone. She pulls out her phone, types something quickly, then tucks it away and follows him into the wings. My own phone buzzes. A text from Emily. Rehearsal running long. Probably won't be home until 11. Don't wait up. Love you. I stare at the message for a long moment, then type back, no problem. Girls are asleep. See you later. The lie tastes like ash, but I send it anyway. At 8:52 p.m., I ease out of the balcony and make my way back downstairs. The break room is easy to find. Just follow the sound of voices and the smell of burnt coffee. Through the partially open door, I can see most of the cast gathered around a battered table covered in scripts and paper coffee cups. I take a breath, straighten my shoulders, and walk in like I belong there. Hey, I say, aiming for friendly and curious. Sorry to interrupt. I'm thinking about auditioning for the next production, and someone told me this was a good group to work with. Mind if I ask a few questions? The younger woman with curly hair looks up, her expression brightening. Oh, sure. We're always looking for new people. I'm Jessica. Pull up a chair. I sit, accepting a cup of terrible coffee from an older man who introduces himself as Paul. What kind of experience do you have? He asks. Not much, I admit. High school drama club years ago, but I've got some free time opening up. Thought it might be fun to try again. Well, you picked an interesting time to visit, Jessica says, her tone suggesting layers I don't quite understand yet. We're in the thick of rehearsals for Streetcar, opening in 3 weeks. How's it going? I ask, keeping my voice casual. The director seems pretty intense. Paul snorts. That's one word for it. David likes to run a tight ship, very focused on authenticity. Authenticity, Jessica echoes, and there's something sharp in her voice. Is that what we're calling it? Another cast member, a woman in her 50s with short gray hair, gives Jessica a warning look. The production is coming together nicely. David's very talented. Oh, he's talented, all right, Jessica mutters into her coffee cup. I lean forward slightly. Sounds like there's a story there. Paul and the older woman exchange glances. Jessica just shrugs. Let's just say David takes the method approach very seriously, especially with his leading ladies. My chest tightens. The woman playing Blanche? Emily? Yeah. Jessica sets down her cup. She's good, really good. Of course, she and David have been rehearsing those intimate scenes a lot. Extra sessions, just the two of them. Very dedicated. How long have they been working together? I ask, my voice steady despite the nausea building in my gut. Emily joined the company in July, Paul says. David cast her as Blanche almost immediately. Said she had exactly the right quality, vulnerable but seductive. July. The same month the messages with Trevor started. The same month my marriage began its slow-motion collapse. They spend a lot of time together outside rehearsals? I keep my tone light, just making conversation. Jessica laughs, but there's no humor in it. You could say that. Last week I left my script here and came back around 10 to grab it. David's car was still in the lot. So was Emily's. The opening night of Autumn Hearts is scheduled for Friday, November 3rd. I have 3 weeks to prepare. 3 weeks to gather every piece of evidence I need. 3 weeks to watch my wife rehearse her lies, both on stage and off. I'm sitting in my truck outside the Riverside Community Playhouse at 7:15 p.m. on Tuesday evening, October 17th. Emily left the house at 6:30 p.m., claiming she had a full run-through tonight. According to the rehearsal schedule I photographed last week, tonight's session is supposed to end at 9 p.m. Kevin's taught me a lot about surveillance in the past 5 days. Rule 1. Never park in direct line of sight. I'm positioned across the street in the lot of a shuttered restaurant, angled so I can see both the main entrance and the side door that leads to the backstage area. My camera sits ready on the passenger seat. Professional grade, telephoto lens. The same equipment I use for wildlife photography, now repurposed to document my wife's betrayal. At 7:42 p.m., the main lights in the theater dim. Through the high windows, I can see the stage lights come up. Rehearsal has started. I wait 15 minutes, then slip out of my truck. The side door, I've learned, doesn't lock properly. Theater people are careless about security, too focused on their art to worry about intruders. I ease it open and step into the darkness of the backstage corridor. The smell hits me immediately. Sawdust, paint, that particular mustiness of old curtains and stored props. I can hear voices from the stage, muffled but distinct. Emily's laugh carries through the walls. I make my way up the narrow staircase to the balcony, moving slowly, testing each step before putting my full weight down. The stairs creak anyway, but the sounds from the stage cover it. The balcony is dark, unused during rehearsals. I settle into a seat in the back row, well hidden in the shadows. From here, I have a perfect view of the stage below. Emily stands center stage in a blue dress I've never seen before. David is beside her, one hand resting on her waist in a way that's supposed to look casual but reads as possessive. They're running through a scene, something about a woman torn between duty and desire. The irony isn't lost on me. From the top of the scene, David calls out. And Emily, remember, your character wants this. She's conflicted, yes, but the desire is winning. Let me see that in your body language. They reset. The scene plays out. Dialogue about forbidden love, about the risks of following your heart. Standard community theater fare, probably. But watching Emily deliver lines about secret passion while David's hands roam her shoulders, her arms, the small of her back, it's nauseating. Better, David says when the scene ends. But the kiss needs work. It's still too tentative. This is the moment she gives in to what she wants. It needs to feel inevitable. He pulls her closer. Their faces are inches apart. Like this, he murmurs, and kisses her. It's supposed to be acting. A rehearsal. Professional. It's not. His hand slides into her hair. Her body melts against his. The kiss goes on for 10 seconds, 15, 20. When they finally break apart, Emily's breathing hard. So is David. That's the energy we need, David says, his voice rough. Can you give me that during the actual performance? Yes? Emily's voice is barely above a whisper. Good. Let's run it again, from your entrance. I raise my camera and start shooting. The telephoto lens brings them into sharp focus. Every touch, every look, every moment that crosses the line from professional to personal. They run the scene 3 more times. Each kiss lasts longer than the last. At 8:30 p.m., David calls for a break. The other cast members, there are 6 of them scattered around the stage, head for the lobby. Emily and David remain on stage, talking in low voices I can't quite hear. Then David takes her hand and leads her off stage, toward the back, toward the dressing rooms. I move quickly, quietly, descending from the balcony and slipping back into the corridor. There's a storage closet near the dressing rooms. I spotted it during my reconnaissance last week. I duck inside, leaving the door cracked just enough to see. They emerge from the hallway 30 seconds later, Emily laughing at something David said. He has his arm around her waist. They stop outside the dressing room marked Director. Just for a minute, Emily says. We need to get back before anyone notices. They're all outside smoking or checking their phones, David replies. We have time. They disappear inside. The door doesn't quite close. It catches on the frame, leaving a 2-inch gap. I ease out of the storage closet and move closer, camera ready. Through the gap, I can see them. David has Emily pressed against the wall, kissing her neck while her head tilts back. Her hands are in his hair. His hands are... I take the photos. Force myself to keep shooting even though every image feels like a knife to the gut. They break apart after a few minutes. Emily straightens her dress, checks her reflection in the mirror on the back of the door. Friday night, David says. After the show, my place? I'll have to figure out what to tell Jake, Emily replies, smoothing her hair. But yes, definitely yes. Tell him the cast is going out to celebrate. He won't question it. He never does. Emily's voice carries a note of contempt that makes my hands shake. He's so trusting. It's almost too easy. They return to the stage. I slip back to the balcony, back to my shadowed seat. The rehearsal continues until 9:15 p.m. I stay until the end, documenting everything. The way David's hands linger on Emily during scene transitions. The private smiles they exchange when they think no one's watching. The casual intimacy that speaks of a relationship that's gone far beyond director and actress. When the rehearsal finally ends, I make my way back to my truck and wait. Emily emerges at 9:35 p.m., laughing with 2 other cast members, a woman about her age and a younger guy, maybe mid-20s. They stand in the parking lot talking for another 10 minutes. Then Emily hugs them both and gets in her car. I let her pull out before starting my engine. I don't follow her home. I already know where she's going. Instead, I head to Murphy's Tavern, a bar 3 blocks from the theater that Kevin identified as the cast's usual hangout spot. Sure enough, when I walk in at 10:05 p.m., I spot 4 people from the rehearsal clustered around a table in the back, including Jessica, the woman who'd been friendly when I posed as a theater enthusiast last week. I order a beer at the bar and wait. At 10:20 p.m., Jessica gets up to order another drink. I time my approach to intersect with her at the bar. Jessica, right? I say, as if surprised to see her. From the theater? She turns, squinting slightly before recognition dawns. Oh, you came to watch rehearsal last week. Jake, wasn't it? Good memory, I smile. How's the show coming along? Intense, she laughs. David's really pushing us hard, but I think it's going to be great. I'm planning to come to opening night, I say. My wife's actually been talking about getting involved in community theater. She'd love to see what you all do. She should totally audition for the next show, Jessica says. We're always looking for new people. Though, she pauses, glancing back at her table, then leans in conspiratorially. Fair warning, David can be a lot. Especially if he takes an interest in you. An interest? Let's just say he has a reputation. Jessica's voice drops lower. There's always one actress per show who becomes his muse. Gets special attention, extra rehearsals, that kind of thing. This time it's Emily, the woman playing the lead. My grip tightens on my beer bottle. Extra rehearsals? Oh yeah, they've been doing private sessions for weeks now. At his apartment, supposedly working on character development. Her air quotes are heavy with implication. His last muse ended up leaving her husband. The one before that was already divorced, thank God. That's intense, I manage. Right? I mean, I'm sure it's all very artistic and professional. Her tone suggests she believes nothing of the sort. But yeah, if your wife does get involved, maybe steer her toward a different director. She excuses herself to rejoin her table. I finish my beer in 3 long swallows and head for the exit. In my truck, I pull out my phone and text Kevin. Need surveillance on David's apartment. Address coming. Every night Emily claims to be at rehearsal. His response comes 30 seconds later. On it. I'll have someone there by tomorrow. I drive home through streets that look exactly the same as they did 3 hours ago, in a world that's completely different. Emily's car is already in the driveway when I arrive at 10:52 p.m. The divorce was finalized on February 14, 2024, Valentine's Day. The irony wasn't lost on Judge Patricia Reynolds, who'd presided over our case with the weary efficiency of someone who'd seen it all before. Emily got the house, temporarily, until we could sell it and split the proceeds. I got primary custody of Olivia and Sophie, with Emily having them every other weekend and Wednesday evenings. The judge's decision hinged on what she called demonstrated pattern of prioritizing personal desires over parental responsibilities. The evidence Kevin and I had gathered, the hotel visits, the theater affair with David, the financial records showing she'd spent over $8,000 of our joint savings on her secret life, made the custody determination straightforward. Emily's affair with David lasted exactly 3 weeks after I served her the papers. Turns out his interest in muses had a shelf life, and a messy divorce made Emily significantly less appealing. She moved into a 1-bedroom apartment in Riverside, not the 2-bedroom place Natalie Foster had shown her, since she couldn't afford it without my income. Trevor Blackwood, the gym trainer, had apparently disappeared from her life even before I discovered the affair. Kevin eventually tracked down that Trevor had moved to Colorado in late September, which explained why Emily had pivoted to David so quickly. She'd needed someone to fill the void. The girl struggled. Olivia, at 10, understood more than I wished she did. Sophie, at 7, just knew that mommy and daddy didn't live together anymore, and that made her sad. I got them into therapy with Dr. Walsh, the same therapist Ryan had recommended for me. It helped, slowly. The guys at the station were supportive in that particular way firefighters are. Lots of dark humor, offers to help me move, pointed silence when Emily's name came up. Nobody said, "I told you so," even though a few of them had apparently sensed something was off, months before I discovered the truth. Ryan refused to charge me his full rate, claiming brother's discount. I paid him anyway. He'd earned every penny. Kevin started a side business doing private investigation work, using our case as his portfolio piece. Last I heard, he's booked solid through next year. I sold the house in April. Emily and I split the proceeds exactly down the middle, and I used my half as a down payment on a 3-bedroom ranch near the girls' school. Olivia got to pick her room color, purple. Sophie wanted rainbow, so we compromised on a soft yellow with rainbow curtains. Emily tried dating again in March. Some guy she met through a friend of a friend. It lasted 6 weeks. Then another guy in May. That one made it to 8 weeks before he apparently discovered she'd been texting someone else. The pattern was visible from space, but I stopped paying attention after a while. Her life wasn't my problem anymore. The girls and I developed new routines. Saturday morning pancakes, my specialty, not Emily's. Sunday afternoon hikes when the weather was good. Movie nights on Fridays where they each got to pick half the films we watched. Slowly, carefully, we built something that felt like stability. Olivia asked me once, about 6 months after the divorce was final, if I hated her mother. We were in the backyard, and I was teaching her how to use my old camera, the same one I'd used to document Emily's betrayal. I thought about lying, about giving her some sanitized version that would be easier to hear. Instead, I told her the truth. I hate what she did. I hate the choices she made that hurt our family. But I don't hate her, because hating her would mean letting what she did keep hurting me. And I'm done being hurt by your mom's choices. Olivia nodded slowly, looking through the camera's viewfinder at a cardinal perched on the fence. That makes sense, she said. Sophie was easier in some ways. She just wanted to know that both her parents still loved her, that the divorce wasn't her fault, that her world, though changed, was still safe. I could give her those assurances honestly. I learned things about myself in those months after everything fell apart. I learned I was stronger than I'd thought, more resilient. I learned that betrayal doesn't have to define you, that you can walk through fire, metaphorically this time, and come out changed but not destroyed. I also learned that trust, once broken, doesn't heal quickly or easily. I dated briefly in the fall of 2024, a teacher named Amy who seemed kind and patient. But I found myself looking for signs of deception in every text message, every unexplained delay, every casual mention of a male colleague. After 3 months, I broke it off. It wasn't fair to her, and I clearly wasn't ready. Dr. Walsh told me that was normal, that healing wasn't linear. Some days I believed her. The girls are doing better now. Olivia just turned 11, and she's discovered a talent for photography. My fault, probably. Sophie's 8 and obsessed with soccer. They still ask sometimes why mommy made the choices she did, why she couldn't just be happy with what we had. I don't have good answers for them. I'm not sure anyone does. What I've learned, what I try to teach them through example rather than lecture, is that people make choices, and those choices have consequences. Emily chose temporary excitement over lasting commitment. She chose deception over honesty. She chose to blow up our family rather than do the hard work of communicating, of staying faithful, of being present. Those were her choices, not mine, not the girls. And we get to choose how we respond. We can choose bitterness, or we can choose to build something new from the wreckage. We can choose to let betrayal define us, or we can choose to define ourselves by how we rise from it. It's not easy. Some mornings I still wake up angry, still feel that familiar rage at the casual cruelty of Emily's lies. But those mornings are fewer now, further apart. The girls and I are building a life that's ours. Imperfect, sometimes messy, but honest. No more secrets, no more pretending. Just 3 people figuring out how to move forward together. Last week, Sophie asked if we could invite mommy to her soccer game. I said yes, because that's what co-parenting means, even when it's hard. Emily came, sat on the opposite side of the field, cheered when Sophie scored. Afterward, we managed a civil 3-minute conversation about Sophie's progress in school. It's not reconciliation. It's not forgiveness, exactly. It's just moving forward. Learning to exist in the same world without letting the past poison everything. I still believe in love, in marriage, in commitment. I have to, because the alternative is letting Emily's betrayal steal that from me too. But I believe in it differently now, more cautiously, more realistically. I understand that love requires more than just feeling. It requires choosing, every day, to honor your promises, to show up, to be faithful even when it's difficult. Emily didn't do that. But I did, and I will again when I'm ready. For now, I have my daughters. I have my work. I have a small house with purple and yellow bedrooms and a backyard where we practice photography and play catch. I have friends who showed up when everything fell apart and stayed when the crisis passed. It's enough. It's more than enough. The screenshot that changed everything didn't destroy me. It destroyed my marriage, yes. It shattered my illusions about the woman I'd loved for 14 years. But it also freed me from a relationship built on lies, and it gave me the chance to build something real with my daughters. That's the truth I hold on to on the hard days. Sometimes things have to break completely before they can be rebuilt into something stronger. I'm still rebuilding. We all are. But we're going to be okay.